We've got a way you can help Honor Flight getting veterans to Washington, D.C. Joining me today, Mike Melvin in to tell us about the ride and the chicken dinner. So thanks for coming today.
Thanks for having me, Holly.
All right, so September 17th, that's the big day. It's a Sunday. So tell us about the ride and the chicken dinner and how we can help out.
Okay, it'll all start at straight up noon with a Ride for Honor, which is a motorcycle ride. It's police escorted front and back, start to finish. They get all the town law enforcement that they go through involved, so it's nonstop. The only time you're going to hit your brakes is when you're turning a corner. Otherwise, you're not going to stop until you get to the Salina Eagles. They'll be there for 30 minutes flat, and then they'll ride back to the Lima Eagles, where they'll be given a free chicken dinner.
Okay, so do you need to sign up ahead of time for the ride?
No, you can register that day probably, well, anytime before noon.
Okay.
And then straight up noon, the lights and sirens will come on. The little flag from the Lima Fire Department will drop, and they'll have to go under that, and the day's activities will start right there.
That's awesome. All right, so chicken dinner also tied in with that, and that's where if people don't like to ride, we can all come and get a meal, right? And that helps out. Tell us about the chicken dinner.
Okay, the chicken is prepared by Sweet Carolines for the first time this year. I've heard nothing but good about them. You'll get a half a chicken, you'll get baked beans, potato salad, applesauce, rolling butter, all for $10, and it all goes to the Honor Flight. And this is the biggest fundraiser that I have of the year. This is why so many Lima area veterans get to go on these Honor Flights. So I'm really relying on the community to back me on this one. I took 19 veterans in April, and I'm getting ready to take 20 in November, and it's all because of this right here.
Right, yeah, so we need to eat up these chicken dinners noon to 5 at the Lima Eagles. What kind of reaction do you get from the guys? Because you've been taking veterans for so long to Washington. I mean, it really means a lot to them, right?
It means just as much to me that I get to do this for them. I always hear, you know, how blessed they are to have me. Well, the shoe goes on both feet, and I'm just as blessed. And you know, I always get told that I'm going to be rewarded when I get to heaven or whatever. And I always say, if I'm going to be rewarded more there than I am here, then I'm ready.
But Honor Flight is such a neat thing to have these guys get to D.C. and see the monuments and things.
It sure is. I always tell people this is the most deserving and appreciative at the same time thing that I've ever witnessed in my life. A lot of these guys didn't get the welcome home that they should have got years ago. This will give them that. And just the faces that I see when they walk into their specific memorial is just, it's just very overwhelming.
Right, yeah.
Very emotional.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a lot of area veterans that you're taking, mainly Korean and Vietnam right now, right?
Right, yep.
Okay, all right. I mean, 19 in April and 20 coming up in November, so that just goes to show how important this chicken dinner really is.
Sure is.
Yeah, all right. So either ride, do the chicken dinner, do both, whatever, but...
you can come, you can participate in the raffles, the 50-50, the Chinese auction. Just come, you may see somebody you haven't seen in a long time. That's good enough for me.
Right, yeah. All the actions at the Lima Eagles on West Robb Avenue. It's a big event for Honor Flight. Thanks for coming today and telling us about it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, don't go away. First Edition continues in a moment.